All right, welcome back to another Tool World podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew today.
How's it going, Mr. Jew?
It's going pretty good. Anyway, so this week we're going to be taking a look at the Encyclopedia. We're talking a little bit about should we ever change things in the Encyclopedia? Is there a right time to? What constitutes a right time to? So let's start off with, can we change things? Because it's a written form by General Choi. You don't want to change too much. We do know there is some inconsistencies, there's some mistakes. He accidentally copied and pasted some words from here to here. But overall, not too many mistakes.
The Bible.
It's pretty much the Bible.
The Bible.
So, do you change the Bible?
Well,
And why would you change it?
yeah, I think that, like I just said, the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you change the Bible? Well, you know what? I think there are different versions of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So, why is that? Well, I think it comes down to interpretation. What we think is correct, what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So, I might have gone to a seminar. Let's say we go to a seminar together,
Mm-hmm.
and we hear the same things, but we interpret them slightly different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you slightly different, you go, well, what does that really mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is it supposed to be this way or this way? And so I think that a lot of us will go, well, believe in what we believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And it could get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then people are going to say, oh, we got to change it. And that kind of reminds me of a time when I remember training with some people, and I had other people come from different states, different parts of the world, come and train. And I said, no, it's like this. And they go, no, it's like this. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you think is right.
Right.
Do what you think. And then we happened to go to an IIC with General Choi or Choi Chung-Wa.
Mm-hmm.
And they lead this seminar, and I was really good friends with another high rank, and we leave the seminar, and we're high ranks already. We're fourth, fifth degree black belts.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys that have been training with me from outside the state, they had to come in, and they go, oh my gosh, there's so much change. And I'm looking at my friend, and I'm going, no, I think that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And so why is that? Their instructor teaches a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's just the way it was taught. And it's mostly, I think, interpretation, right? Now, there are some things that you will see that are really quite like, wow, that's quite different. Specifically, like, for instance, some organization or some schools, like I'll give you an example. They do the forms, the patterns, and they do it almost karate style. It's like step, block, step, punch, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see people just like give them a hard time. What in the heck is that? That is not Taekwondo.
Yeah.
But, and then, as I always kind of look at it, it's like, well, I'm not going to really blame them. Or you see sparring and, they don't, no touching. It's kind of like, just kind of, I don't know how you explain it. Just
Point sparring?
Not even point sparring. It's just like flailing the hands at feet.
I see.
And you go, oh, that's not going to work in sparring or self-defense. I said, yeah, no, I get that. But then on the other hand, it's never really the student's fault in that way. It's really the instructor. It's what they've learned. That's what they're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you learned the patterns out of the book, how do you know if there's any this sine wave or eyes, hand, feet, rhythm? Mm-hmm. You could read about it and go, what does that all mean? Right. Until someone actually shows you or someone teaches you that or something, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's interpretation, and when should you change it? Well, it is General Choi's work. I think that there are definitely some things that are misprinted or whatever, written, mm-hmm. and you can find corrections from his latest book compared to, I think one of them is like Moo Moo. in the original 15 volumes encyclopedia, it says middle side piercing kick.
Right. But
And
they changed it to high.
Then in the later book it says high. So was that a mistake? Well, obviously there's rendition, right? Renditions of his work, and that was all supervised by General Choi. Now we're talking about, okay, so let's say me, Gordon Jew, I'm going to, well, I think it should be done this way. And I'm starting to make a new book. So now what are we doing? It's kind of like changing it, right? Should we do it or should we not do it? And it might be okay. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying maybe. But if you really want to stick with what General Choi is doing, then you can't really change much from it. It's going to come down to interpretation. It's kind of like music, You get, let's say the Beatles played a certain song, and you get a remix of that or something, and they change it a little bit.
Right.
You can't call it
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
It's a Beatles remix.
It's a Beatles remix. It's whatever, right?
Right.
So in some ways, that's also kind of true with the encyclopedia, I think. That's General Choi's work. Obviously, there are some verbiage incorrection. There are some in the book. There's no doubt. I know that. There's no doubt. The Taege, I think the circular blocks in the direction it says, you go, well, that doesn't seem right. It was probably just the way they wrote the letters and stuff like that. We can fix that. We can update the book in some ways, and like to make it a little bit more clear in the way it's described. Right. Maybe updated photos. Okay, that's cool. But it's got to be someone that, in my opinion, it's got to be someone that's very connected to General Choi. I think President Choi Jae-won would be an excellent person because he's the son of the founder, right? Does that mean he knows Taekwondo better than some of these other grandmasters? No, I'm not going to say that. The thing is, one of the things that I always kind of talk about is like, your kids are pretty good. It says, yeah, they've one of the reasons that they're probably pretty good is because they had to go with me wherever I went. And if I was going to a tournament, well, guess what? They're doing the tournament. If I went to a seminar, guess what? They're doing the seminar. And so they did. So Catherine was doing a lot of that. So students, my regular students don't have that opportunity because they don't live with me. Or even at home, even though we don't train a lot at home, but discussions, something comes up, I might say something. And if I'm discussing it with you, maybe I'm talking to Grandmaster Wheatley or I'm talking to whoever, and you might hear it. You have definitely more advantage in that way. And I would say that's true with President Choi. I mean, was with dad a lot. He's got to be with his dad. Family. It's got to be with his, with your family more than anybody. Even if you're the closest friend, you're not there 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And so you don't get that kind of information or the spirit of that event.
Right.
Makes sense? I don't know.
Makes sense. All right. Well, that was another podcast. We're hitting a lot of different areas. But thank you for jumping into another Tool World podcast. Don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
We'll see you guys next week.
Taekwon.